everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Narissa Nicole and I have an awesome new boxed cake mix hack to share with you today. If you're new here, I like to post simple living and life hacks on my channel, and recently a lot of boxed cake mix hacks. No muss, no fuss, super affordable, and of course, like always, easy. So let's jump right in and let me show you what I did. All right, jumping right into it, we are going to use a white cake mix, whichever you prefer. I'm using Duncan Hines Classic White. And look at the directions on the back of the box, but not too close. We're going to follow the directions, make some substitutions and additions. The first secret ingredient is going to be a box of butterscotch pudding mix, a small box. Butterscotch flavor is like one of my all-time favorite flavors. Go ahead and add that to a mixing bowl with your cake mix. And next we're going to make a substitution. So instead of half a cup of oil, we're going to replace that with 1 cup of melted butter. Don't boil it, but we want it melted. We're going to add eggs later and we don't want to scramble our eggs. So add your melted butter, 1 cup of melted butter to your mixture so far. And that brings us to our second secret ingredient, which is cream soda. So if you can find a small bottle, go ahead and grab that. All I could find was a 2 liter, but you need 1 cup of cream soda, and try to pour it in where you lose too much of the carbonation. That helps with the magic. So the third secret ingredient is butterscotch syrup, or like ice cream topping. Oh, don't skip this step. We're gonna add half a cup of butterscotch syrup. And then lastly, how many is that? 4? The fourth secret ingredient here is gonna be some butterscotch chips. So you're gonna have all of the butterscotch flavors going on here. There's gonna be little surprises everywhere. This cake is so good. Seriously, everyone that had it had compliments. And that doesn't happen all the time. My family is kind of hard to please, I think, sometimes, but everyone loved this. So chop up your chocolate chips into just little tiny pieces to where they melt. You know, you're not biting into a big chunk of chocolate, but you kind of know it's there. So how about cut it up into the size of like mini chocolate chips. Now we're going to add our eggs. So I did not add an extra egg here. I usually do add 1 to 2 extra eggs in addition to what the recipe calls for, but I didn't here. So make sure you crack your eggs into a separate bowl because you don't want a chunk of eggshell getting into your cake that you don't know about. It's happened to me before. Just go ahead and take that extra step. So now that we have our cake batter mixed up, I'm going to take 3 6-inch cake pans. This is like my favorite cake pan size right now. It helps give you lots of height. It's not too big. I don't know. I'm all about the height. And then also when you use these pans, you usually have an extra batter that you can make cupcakes with. So I like that too. I'll link these down below if you want to add them to your collection of kitchen gadgets. So I am going to add half a cup of batter, or is it 1 cup? I don't know. Either way, you just want to divide it evenly amongst your cake pans, and you can use as much or as little as you want. So I did want to make some cupcakes because A, I wanted to taste it before the birthday party, and B, the kids like cupcakes better, you know, so I divided it evenly. I put 1 cup into each pan, started on the second 1 cup addition, and then realized I wasn't gonna have enough, so then I took a half a cup out of 2 and put it into the third, and so it all evened out an equal amount. And then I was able to make several cupcakes. Now I lined the cake pans with parchment paper, sprayed them first, put parchment paper down, spray it again, and I do the same thing with cupcake liners. Now, I know some people say cupcake liners don't stick. You don't need to spray the cupcake liners. Yes, you do. Maybe it depends on the recipe or the batter or whatever, but I have had way too many recipes stick, so I'm not willing to chance it. Just spray it. So I'm going to put these on a baking sheet. That way I can keep everything all together. And we're baking these at 325, no more 350. If you bake them lower and slower, they turn out a lot better. So 325, between 25 and 30 minutes for the 6-inch cake layers. Just keep an eye on them. And then when you pull them out of the oven, as soon as you can touch the pans without burning yourself terribly, go ahead and cover them with some press and seal saran wrap and pop them in the freezer. Yes. Prop them in the freezer. This is going to be helpful in several different ways. So I'm going to make the frosting now, and I am doing this all the day before. I'm a busy full-time working mom, and I have to like fit things in little time pockets where I can. But this also is helpful because you want to freeze the cake and then also chill your frosting anyway. So go ahead and just do it in advance. Now I'm using some store-bought frosting, and this is going to be an extra little hack here to make your frosting taste better and make it more pipeable. So we're making a marshmallow frosting to go with our butterscotch cake. So I had 2 cans of store-bought frosting to the mixing bowl, and then I added about 2 cups of marshmallows, slightly melted them in the microwave. You don't want to burn them. They burn easily, so just be careful. Just slightly melted to where they're still really super sticky and gooey. Mix that in. I decided that it needed more, so I added about another cup and a half of marshmallows, melted marshmallows, to the frosting. I also added 1 cup total of powdered sugar to the frosting mixture here. That powdered sugar is going to give it a little more stability too. So I added half a cup at a time and added a total of 1 cup. So give that a good mix, and you can see it's really runny still. I mean, or the marshmallows added some heat to the frosting too, so it's not as runny as it seems. But we're going to cover this with press and seal and put it in the refrigerator too. So everything is going to be chilled and solid when we're ready to work with it the next day. So it's the next day, and you can see how well the frosting like solidified. And yes, it will hold its shape. Even though it's cold right now, it'll still hold its shape. So I'm going to put some frosting on my little turntable here so that the cake sticks. And then I'm going to work on getting the cakes out of the pan. Now they're frozen, so if you have an issue getting them out of the pan, just turn it upside down and run some warm water over the bottom and they'll pop right out. Adding the first layer, and it was pretty even, so I didn't have to mess with it or try and like level it out. So then I'm going to add some of the marshmallow store-bought frosting mixture to the first layer, so you can see I'm working with it like it's pretty solid. So it takes a little bit of working with to get it to spread, but it will warm up slightly as we work with it. So now I'm adding the second layer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's crooked. Okay, so here is one benefit to freezing your cakes. When you need to level out your cake layer, having them frozen makes it so much easier. You're not going to destroy the cake if it's frozen. So just get out a big long knife, and since I had already put this on the first layer, I just did it while it was sitting there. But it's a lot easier if you do it like perpendicular to the table rather than horizontal or parallel to the table. So add another layer of frosting, and then add the third layer after you level it out. Now the bottom of your cake, the one that was on the pan, is going to be obviously your flattest layer or your flattest side. So go ahead and put the cut side or the top side down and have the bottom facing up on your top layer. So now I'm going to add some frosting to a piping bag, and watch this. I added it all to the piping bag. I didn't put a tip in it because I just want to add frosting on there quickly, like add a big thick layer, and look what happened. It completely blew out. I don't know. I think these were from Dollar Tree. So I just said, to heck with it. I'm just going to put it on with a spatula and go for it. So you can see some crumbs are coming off. I don't know if it's because the frosting is super sticky because it's cold and has marshmallow in it. Sometimes you need to do a crumb coat, sometimes you don't. It just depends. Or I should say sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends. Again, not a professional here, just a hobby baker that likes to share recipes. So we're going to do a thin, messy layer on this cake. A lot of times, like I said, I don't. So go ahead and just slather it on. It doesn't have to be pretty because we're going to add a pretty layer next. So these are the 2 tools that I use the most. I use this bench scraper tool or cake smoother tool. I'll link that down below. And then also some offset spatulas are really useful. Anything I use in this video that you might want to try out for yourself, I'll have it linked below so you can try it out. Now we're going in with more frosting, and we're going to try and make this look a little more pretty. So just keep adding frosting, smoothing it out, finding spots that need filled, and it's going to look great. All right, so now we're ready to decorate, and I have an idea for this cake. A lot of times, you guys, I have something in my head, but I oftentimes just wing it. So this is what we're gonna do. It's gonna be pretty simple. I'm using a big star tip to pipe on a border on the top, and then we're gonna fill it. We're gonna fill it with some yummy butterscotch topping like we used in the cake. So pour some butterscotch topping in there and just kind of very gently, very gently tip the cake to let it fill in that empty top circle without your cake like falling off. And then the last step is to add some of those butterscotch chips around the outside so that everyone knows this is a butterscotch cake. You could easily exchange these flavors for caramel. That would be really good too if you're not into the butterscotch. But my mom, she loves Harry Potter, so we called this her Butterbeer cake. She was really impressed with it, and everyone at the birthday party loved it too. Okay guys, so that is it. That is my butterscotch box cake mix hack that I made for my mom's birthday. It was so good. You have to try it. Let me know down in the comments below if you plan on trying it, or if you did, if you made any adjustments. Always love hearing your guys' tips. Stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to show you how to make a viral cake from a box cake mix, and it is really good, really simple, and it looks professional. I can't wait to share it with you guys. So stay tuned, and I hope everyone is happy and healthy, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.